Meet Delcy Rodriguez, the woman who now really runs Venezuela. She has sworn loyalty to the people and taken the most powerful office inside the presidential palace. They call her the devil in a skirt. She is obsessed with high fashion, yet rules the country with a level of cold calculation and toughness that most men could only envy. But the most intriguing part of her story begins behind closed doors. The life of Venezuela's new president feels like a modern-day version of Dallas mixed with a political thriller. Who is her mysterious billionaire partner, ironically referred to as the first gentleman? And why is his name kept out of the spotlight? Is it true that her rapid rise to power was fueled by relationships with military generals? How did she manage to shock even Washington? And did she really play a key role in Maduro's arrest in exchange for power? Watch until the end to uncover the story of a woman who turned out to be very different from what she first appeared. Delcy is often called the crown princess of Venezuelan socialism. Her father, activist Jorge Rodriguez, died inside a police cell when she was just 7 years old. Authorities claimed it was a heart attack, but many sources insist he was subjected to brutal treatment. That tragedy shaped her entire life. Together with her older brother Jorge, she chose to fight the system. Remember that name? Later, we will reveal shocking details about their unique partnership and its role in Maduro's downfall. But how did this woman manage to bring Venezuela's military and security forces under her control? And for whom did she walk away from a famous actor and Latin America's sex symbol? The answer lies in the massive gap between her and the rest of Venezuela's ruling elite. And, of course, in her fascination with the so-called decadent West. Compare the two. Maduro is a former bus driver with no college degree. Delcy belongs to the elite, holding a prestigious law degree from Europe. While ordinary people were chanting slogans at rallies, she was studying in Paris and London. Here lies the great paradox. From the podium, Delcy fiercely condemns American imperialism. But look at her shoes. Viewers often notice that while she speaks about revolution and modesty, she wears Christian Louboutin or Valentino heels worth $1,000 and designer jackets by Carolina Herrera on her shoulders. After meeting Hugo Chavez, Delcy's career skyrocketed. She became the first woman in the country's history to lead the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But diplomacy was only the beginning. Real power came when she took control of the security apparatus, including SEBIN, Venezuela's feared intelligence service. Picture this contrast: a woman in high heels keeping an entire army in line. Rumors say generals obey her not out of respect but out of quiet fear, because damaging files on each of them allegedly sit on her polished desk. Yet fear is not the only explanation for her influence over the military. In Caracas, she has often been linked to alleged affairs with several generals, but those remain rumors. The real story of her personal life is far more interesting and far more dramatic. First came a high-profile romance with Fernando Carrillo, a famous actor and one of Latin America's biggest television heartthrobs. Their relationship lasted 3 years. Many were surprised by the match: a popular celebrity and an ambitious government official from two very different worlds. Carrillo still speaks of her with admiration, calling her the love of his life. Later, Alfredo Anzola entered her life, a co-founder of a controversial company tied to electronic voting systems. That relationship ended in tragedy. In 2008, Anzola died in a plane crash. That loss may have made her even tougher. Officially, Delcy is not married. Her financial disclosure lists nothing. But in Caracas, everyone knows that the Iron Lady has an iron wallet. Since 2017, her constant companion has been Yusuf Abu Nassif, a businessman of Lebanese origin who rapidly built a fortune during that time. His wealth is estimated at €500 million. According to investigators, Delcy may have been linked through Yusuf to schemes involving CLAP, a government food aid program for the poor. The cheapest products were purchased, then sold to the state as premium goods, while millions of dollars were siphoned overseas. In scandals surrounding these shipments, the blame usually falls on the sons of Cilia Flores, often referred to as Los Chamos. They take most of the heat. But there is another version, that Delcy herself quietly took a large slice of the pie. The so-called first gentleman usually stays in the shadows, but once he surfaced in an international scandal alongside Delcy. It happened in January 2020 and became known as Delcygate. Late at night, a private jet from Caracas landed at Madrid's airport. On board was Delcy Rodriguez, who was banned from entering the European Union due to personal sanctions. By law, she should have been deported. Instead, a Spanish minister secretly met her right on the runway. Witnesses claimed that 40 suitcases were unloaded from the plane, allegedly filled with gold worth around $70 million. They were taken away without any customs inspection. After this information leaked to the media, a major scandal erupted in Spain. It was later revealed that Yusuf was traveling with her on that flight, immediately drawing attention to him. After that night, Delcy earned a lasting reputation as the regime's so-called gold courier. Still, the gold scandal now pales in comparison to the recent arrest of Maduro. The events shocked the world, including Washington. But did Delcy personally play a role in delivering Maduro to the Americans? Delcy built a formidable career, and her older brother Jorge played a crucial role in it. He is the only person in the world she trusts without question. Today, Jorge is the head of the National Assembly and one of the most powerful figures in the country. By training, he is a psychiatrist and is widely regarded as the chief ideologue and the brain of the regime. Together, the brother and sister formed a chilling alliance known in Venezuela as the two-headed monster. Jorge handles psychology, intrigue, and complex negotiations. Delcy handles the toughest decisions and makes sure they are enforced. According to the New York Times, citing American and Venezuelan sources, Maduro rejected an ultimatum from President Trump in late December. He was expected to step down and go into exile in Turkey. But Maduro's days were already numbered. To this day, people in Caracas argue over who exactly opened the door to the United States. One view is that two camps formed within his inner circle. The first actively leaked information to the Americans about his movements and security. The second simply stepped aside at the critical moment and chose not to intervene. It appears the Rodriguez clan chose the most calculated strategy. Initially, Trump planned to back Maria Corina Machado, the main opposition leader and Washington's preferred choice. But Delcy maneuvered to stay in power. And here, Jorge likely played the key role, the master negotiator who helped his sister survive politically. They convinced the Trump administration that Delcy was the only force capable of preventing a civil war, and, most importantly, that she would support future American investments in Venezuela's oil sector. Trump needed oil. Delcy needed power. Today, Delcy Rodriguez is the de facto leader of the country, even if only temporarily. Venezuela now stands on the edge of major change. Many initially saw Maduro's disappearance as a chance for a better future. But hope quickly turned into anxiety. The country fears a clan war. Delcy versus old generals who see her as a traitor. People worry this conflict will bring only chaos, repression, and new shortages. But the greatest concern is money. Reports suggest the public fears any deal with the United States will enrich only the elites. This fear is summed up by a phrase now circulating across Venezuela. The Americans will take the oil, the Rodriguezes will take the money, and we will be left with nothing but the flag. What happens next, only time will tell. But what do you think? Will life for ordinary people actually change, or is this just another political performance? Share your thoughts in the comments. Like this video if you found it interesting. See you next time.